Hey there. So I get a number of emails and comments, and as families are being brought together, kind of forced into closeness and proximity, uh, issues are coming out that um, have been able to be, we've been able to avoid them, by distance. Um, for many believers, they find themselves in a home with unbelievers, and the unbelievers uh, are starting to really recognize the gravity of the situation, and they're going to be looking for hope, but they are not prepared for an existential threat to their identity, which is really what this is. We know that this is the beginning of sorrows. We know the trajectory, but the world is more like, if we can get through this and humanity can change, we will live differently and learn some lessons, and things will be better if we could just get through it, right? If you try to tell them, no, this is it, uh, yeah, see, you want to provide the hope because you want to see them saved because you love them, but they're not where you are. And here's the thing, the rapture of the church is a secret, it's a mystery hidden for the church. The, the idea that we lead with the rapture uh, in our gospel preaching is from Left Behind. That is not the gospel. The gospel is focused on the work of Christ. And there are times and seasons when people can hear it and when they can't. I've found in my life that people who are going through extreme crisis you think would be the ripest to hear the truth, no, that's when all their guards are up, their defenses are up, they're protecting themselves. It's really, you know, when I saw people getting saved, it was during a time of feeling of futility because there was no meaning. Uh, and life had become too mundane. This is a little different. Um, we have to exercise real wisdom, and we need to be harmless as doves, wise as serpents. Uh, at the same time that people's defenses are up, offense and betrayal is here as well. This is the most easily offended culture. And remember, Jesus said this is the beginning of sorrows, and then he said, and then they shall deliver you up to affliction. And then he starts talking about the false prophets, and he'll start talking about the love growing cold, iniquity abounding, love grows cold. People are offended and betray one another. And in that context, even members of your own household deliver you over to affliction and even death. Uh, this is a time to be very wise. Um, I have, I'm fortunate because my wife is a believer, but my mom is not. And we're just very careful how we talk to her. We're not trumpeting the end because, see, the whole purpose of the first half of Jacob's trouble is the final harvest of the Gentiles. It's a huge outpouring of grace, actually, if you can believe that, uh, where everybody who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved at a price. They're going to be hated and persecuted. Um, but so crisis does produce that once people embrace the fact that there's an existential threat here that we can't overcome in ourselves. But while people are still clinging to their life, that's not the time that you really have the opportunity. We've had plenty of opportunity to sow seeds and preach the gospel. Uh, and God will still open some doors, but you really have to be wise. Um, I'm getting emails and stuff from people who are meeting real resistance at home. They're finding themselves living with highly offended people now, and I don't know how they're preaching the gospel. I can't advise, but all I would say is let your peace be upon you, and they know what you believe. That, you know, yes, the word of God is critical. We have to speak the word for the building up of the church and preaching the gospel, but we just have to be wise and led by the Spirit. Ask God for wisdom. Do not use your own natural understanding and try to use shock value to get people who are afraid and easily offended to believe. It's not going to work like that. Only the Spirit can make people believe, and He has to prepare their hearts. This can be a great opportunity, or it can really be a very dangerous time. So I just wanted to say all that.